Well, hello there, people from the internet. I am the Russian Sniper, and today, for one day only, I'm back in Bad Company 2. Man, I've missed this game. Today, I'm back being Boris the Boshwookie. I love Bad Company 2, and I don't know why I don't play it more often. Every time I play, I mean, obviously, it takes a little bit of time of getting used to it since the button layout in Battlefield 3, then in Battlefield 4. I've always had them the same, and it's kind of weird getting back to this, and then, I just can't be asked to switch everything just to make sure it works the same way I'm used to everything else, so you always end up pressing different buttons, but it's just that feeling, you know, that once you get into the game, and those of you that played Bad Company 2, you know that feeling. It does take you a little bit to get used to it, and bullets and all that sort of stuff. It's still, what? How is he not dead? You know, those kind of things, and it's just one of those cool things that if you sort of know how to play Bad Company 2, and especially when you're playing Recon, I mean, you had two choices. Either you'd be the infiltrator, as it were, which I'm doing right now because we're playing Russian. I'm trying to get behind the enemy lines with mines and just trying to stay alive and have my teammates always spawn on me to try and get the objective. Or you just go in Rambo style like, and I used to love doing that as well, man. I used to love sniping in this game, and I think if Bad Company 2 was still the game that everybody played, I wouldn't really would have changed from Bad Company 2 to anything else. I mean, it's kind of a shame that it's not as it used to be anymore, you know, because we've seen Battlefield 3, we've seen Battlefield 4, you know, we've seen what the Battlefield franchise will become in terms of weaponry, in terms of graphics, in terms of everything else. You know, it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's a 6-year-old game and it doesn't look bad at all. It looks way better than a lot of games that came out years after. I still think is a really good looking game, and even though 6 years later, it's still staying the test of time. There's still servers, people still play it. You log it in the morning, you log it in at night, there's always people for you to play. So get yourself this game. If you haven't, for some reason, it's always on a sale. You're only going to spend a little bit buying this, but you're never going to regret it, because this is going to be one of the most fun things you'll play in a long time. Sit down, Wookie. Boris the Bushwookie be activating in this here bush. It's taken. So it's only about 10 days left now till we get to see some Battlefield 1 multiplayer. London EA Play is going to happen on June the 12th. I'm going to be going, as I mentioned in the previous video. I'll be recording as much as I can. I know there's going to be Titanfall, there's going to be all the esports there. Don't really care about Titanfall. I mean, I have a total of 14 hours or something like that played on the first Titanfall, so hype. Not really, I don't really care about that. But if it's there, I mean, obviously I'll try it out just to bring some gameplay, just to bring some footage, see what it's like. Because it wasn't really that popular, you know, after release, sort of everybody played it, the hype sort of went off in the first week or two. Everybody realized this is not what you sort of wanted to play. Then they kind of realized that, hold on, nobody's really playing this game. Let's just go ahead and give the DLCs and stuff like that for free later on down the line, because nobody's really playing it, and try and populate it. It kind of sort of happened like it did in Battlefield Hardline. You know, the hype was there, the beta, then the second beta, then everybody kind of, okay, well, we'll play it, but it's not right, and it's not a Battlefield game, but it is a Battlefield game. It kind of got to the point where they had like 1,000 people playing it worldwide, so they just started giving away stuff for free just to get people playing it and trying it out and stuff like that. So, obviously sold decent amount of copies if they're making another one, otherwise it wouldn't really make sense for you to make another game if it didn't sell anywhere good enough. But it must have sold a decent amount of copies if they're making another one, so we'll just have to wait and see what they're going to bring into this new one, and we still have to see some gameplay from it, we still have to see a trailer, and obviously if it's going to be there, then I'll just record a little bit for you, or bring back as much as I can from it, whatever we can get our hands on. So luckily for me, going into EA Play, I didn't have to buy a hotel, because hotels are not one of the cheapest things, especially in London. I mean, the cheapest one I found was like a Holiday Inn or something like that for about 60, 70 pounds. But luckily for me, I have a friend of mine actually who I go to gym with, and I know in real life. He actually works for Mozilla, and he's going to be there for about a week. And he's going sort of the same time I'm going, so I'm just going to be crashing at his place. And I actually checked it out. Mozilla have got all the coins, so they're staying at the Hilton. I looked it up, and it's like £360 for the night. I'm like, hell no, I'm not paying that, but I'll be crashing at your place for 2 days, because why not? So I'll be staying at his for the 2 days while I'm going to be in London, and I'm just going to go and record as much as I can. I'll take the laptop, and I'll take the GoPro and the phone and the microphone and everything, just so I can sort of render the video, because I think it's going to start at 8 o'clock at night on the 12th. So it's going to be Probably a conference and some live gameplay. You know, like we had that stage stuff in Battlefield 4. You know, everybody sort of went really slow in the squad and all that. It's probably going to be something like that. It's going to be something set up. But hopefully it won't. Hopefully it'll just be something like, here you go, boys. Get a squad here, squad there. And just go for it. You know what I mean? Just madness. And I think that's kind of what you really want to see instead of just having something sort of worked out together as a plan or staged or whatever. I think that'd be a bit more fun. But it doesn't really matter. You'll see that, and then you'll see individual gameplay, you know, what it really matters. Will I get a horse and put a bit of C4 in it? Or actually, there wasn't C4 because C4 wasn't invented back then. But you still had TNT, you had dynamite and stuff like that back in those days. So really curious just to see what kind of sort of prototype weapons you're going to bring in. You know, there's not going to be too many weapons for that era. So that's kind of the stuff that we want to see. The maps, how many maps are going to start with, how many sort of weapons, what kind of classes we're going to have, all that, the grenades. I mean, you're going to have, probably going to have incendiary grenades. You're probably going to have gas grenades and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to see how the flamethrower works. I'm sort of thinking maybe they're going to do something like Battlefront. Maybe that's a pickup. I'm hoping that that's going to be something that we'll find out at London EA Play. You know, all the questions and sort of stuff that you have, I have as well, and I'm just really looking forward to getting there and just playing it and finding out a little bit more about the game, because that's probably going to be the next game we're going to be playing for the next couple of years. I mean, if you look at Battlefield Bad Company 2, it lasted for a few years, everybody played it, so everybody moved to Battlefield 3, then they moved to Battlefield 4. It's kind of the way of the world. That's always the way it's going to happen. Of course, you're still gonna have. I still have friends that only play Battlefield 3. They never really enjoy Battlefield 4 and never played it more than say a couple hours and think, nah, not too many lock-ons, too many. You know, a lot of people kind of quit because of that reason. It's just sort of point and forget about weapons. You know, just lock something, shoot it, and just move on. It doesn't really take any skill, and a lot of sort of people have turned off because of that. So I'm hoping that this being set in World War I is going to be a lot different with bolt actions and stuff like that. And yeah, just a quick little tip. Remember this? Ah, yes, you could literally be in the tree, man. You can just camp it out in the tree. Well, not camp it out, my bad. You can tactically wait in the tree for your team to spawn on you and just shoot the enemy in the face as they come in towards the objective. So those little things is what made Bad Company just a great game, man. I love this game, and I still sort of hope it just keeps going forever and ever. You know, every time you sort of have the nostalgia and you want to sort of get back into it, I always hope there's going to be servers. And there was. I mean, there was about 80 servers that was available. There was Rush, there was Conquest, there was all sorts of stuff for you to play. And it just goes to show that Battlefield Bad Company 2, even though it's 6 years old, there's still servers, people still play it. And if for some reason, like I said earlier on, you haven't purchased the game yet and you're just getting into it now, you're not going to regret it. It's going to be a cheap game. The campaign is amazing, and you're still going to get plenty of fun out of the multiplayer, and you will enjoy it. That's kind of what I'm hoping to see in Battlefield 1 going into EA Play. It's bringing sort of the fun back into the game. You know, there wasn't really that many camos. There wasn't that many attachments or anything in this. It was just pure fun. And you had a selection of weapons. You had a few here and a few there, but that was it. But it was just a fun game. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to see in Battlefield 1. But we only have to wait a couple of more weeks, well, 10 days, and we'll see what Battlefield 1 looks like at London EA Play. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Boris the Bushwookie, out.